In this video, we're going to learn more about responsive web design. So far, we've created columns and are using a CSS grid system to implement a layout that allows the page to be responsive as the window is expanded and contracted. We've used responsive sizes on the images to keep them contained. The next step is to figure out how this is going to look on different devices. So this is designed really well to work good on a desktop, but when we resize it down to where it might be the size of a phone, things are a little bit more difficult to read. Our navigation spills out, things get pretty narrow, and we see some problems in the layout. So the next step is to create different layouts for different devices. Currently we have this layout which works really good for a desktop, but let's go ahead and create two more layouts. So to do that, we're going to create a new file. And what we want to do with this new file is say, what do we want the layout to be like if we're on a phone? So we still want to have the header on top. So I'm going to draw a rectangle for that and label it header. And then we'll put the nav under it. And notice how when it's getting small, the nav is actually spilling out of the header. So we're going to go ahead and put the nav underneath, under the header. And we'll make this a horizontal or a vertical nav where the buttons go all the way across and spread down. So we'll put the nav here. Then following that will be main. And go ahead and create this for yourself and know that this is on a very narrow phone. And here's where main goes. And then below that we'll put the aside and then the footer. And that gives us a different layout for the phone. And we want to save this so we'll have access to it. And I'm going to call this layout phone so I can tell the difference between the other one. And I'm going to do one more, and this one is for kind of an in-between size, and I'll call this tablet. And this one I want a little bit different. So I still want the header up here the same. So that one works. And now I want the nav to go underneath, but now the nav, instead of being a vertical nav, I still wanted a horizontal nav, but it'll be outside of the header and go underneath. So it'll fit a little bit better there. Now notice that I've already tested these things out, so I have in mind what I want. When you're creating this for yourself, you're going to want to think about what will work and how it will all fit together. So spend some time resizing the window and see where things change. The next one is going to be the main. And now I still want the aside to be underneath, but the aside gets pretty wide when this gets bigger. And so it looked like to me that I could fit the aside in two columns. So I'll put part of it here and part of it here. And that way it seemed to fit nicely in this middle size. And so it really became two parts. So a side part here and a side part here. And then finally go ahead and put the footer underneath. And I'm going to save this one as layout tablet. Now we have three layouts, the one that's for the desktop and the phone and the tablet.